I adjourn this meeting at 3:38. Secretary Gretchen.
President Dawson. Vice President Kwong.
Present.
Treasurer Singh. Speaker Hall.
President.
Senator Mathis. Senator Kangan. Here. Senator Babiote.
President.
Senator C. Senator Joyce. Senator Spiridonova. Senator Najib. Here. Senator Pachetti.
Here.
Senator Hicks. Senator Nowazowski.
Here.
Senator Boris. Here. Senator Bartlett.
Here.
Senator Walsh.
Present.
Senator Martin. Senator Jones.
Here.
Senator Maceo.
Here.
Senator McCarthy.
Here.
Senator Najjar.
Here.
Senator Seok.
Here.
Senator Cardamone.
Present.
Senator Reddy. Senator Patel. Senator Jain.
Present.
Senator Roth.
Present.
Senator Downer.
Present.
Senator Keating.
Here.
Senator Johnson. Senator Fink.
Here.
Assistant VP Spengross. Assistant VP Hooks.
Yes.
Director Yawson.
Present.
Director Bowling.
Present.
Director Jakubowski. Director Stevens.
Here.
Assistant VP Poston.
Present.
Supervisor Johnson.
Present.
All right. Are there any announcements for today? Senator Richard.
I don't know if anybody knows, but there's that Lift Up Bikes is having their essentially open house. And for those who don't know who Lift Up Bikes are, they are the registered food bank, food pantry on campus for students. So I know it's on March 10th, so I know there are posters all over the place in the SGA office, and I know there's one outside as well, so just double check that and you're good.
Senator Jones.
I want to thank everybody that came to my event on Tuesday. We had over 7.5 pages of names, IDs, and majors. And it was a great event, and we can't wait for the Arts Career Fair in the first week of April, hopefully. So thank you, everybody.
Senator Keating.
Yeah, as many of you should know, the April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I am going to be restarting the SAS committee, and planning a Take Back the Night march on the CSU campus at night, ending with a concert with CSU bands to raise awareness of sexual assault, sexual violence, any form of violence, what it morphed into now. And if any of you guys are interested in working with the committee or attending or working with the event, please just reach out to me.
Senator Roth.
Just another announcement. Graduate Student Association is going to be having a sort of like a meet and each of graduate students and prospective graduate students. It's going to be next Tuesday at 4:30 in Parker Hamilton Hall. Feel free to come. There will be refreshments served. And then we're also looking forward to it. The first week of April, before 4:30, we're going to have graduate student appreciation. We put on through GSA and mostly the Graduate Student Resource Center, and there'll be a bunch of events related to graduate students. A lot of these events are also for undergrads interested in grad school at CSU.
What was the date of it again?
The one next week is March. It's Tuesday next week at 4:30 in Parker Hampton Hall, and then April 4th through 8th would be the graduate student appreciation.
I'll send an email to everyone just so we have a reminder. AVP Jones.
Some people know and some people don't. March is National Women's History Month, and on March 29th, they're going to have an event, Women of Influence. So what they're doing is they're sending out emails, and you should have them already. You can nominate a student, faculty member, a SGA advisor, if you'd like, you can nominate them to be one of the Women of Influence. It is 10 of them. Myself, Nadette, and 2 other navigators will be doing a presentation at the end of that event. But if you know a student or a staff member or a faculty member or professor that you think is worthy of that, they're looking for just someone who's been supportive, someone who's done great educational things. So please feel free to nominate. You can write. It's 500 to 1,000 words, but if you can say wonderful things about them in 2 sentences, that's fine. But they left enough space for you to do it. So I encourage you, if you know someone that's been influential, please. And also, if you're interested in attending, you can go on and register. The event is free.
Any other senators?
I just wanted to make a mention about my second project. I'm trying to bring back the daycare. I had only like 6 surveys, but I really wanted to learn out and bring it back, and I'm working with Speaker Hall to get that back in motion. So I just want to let Senate know that that's what I was doing.
Senator G?
There is going to be a survey put out on campus on for my senator project about the dining as well as Viking dollars and Viking cash. So if you can please go onto the campus horn, click the link, and you'll be actually able to, the $25 gift card, you'll be eligible to win that. So please check out campus horn on Monday, and there'll be a survey, and click the link. Please appreciate it.
Director Yasi?
I just wanted to say, first and foremost, the clothing drive has reached the midway point, so we have about 2 weeks left. So if anybody wants to still spread the word, please do. And secondly, we already have about 50 boxes, so I'm very happy for the outreach off campus. But I really want to increase basically the activity on campus. So if you guys can spread the word among everybody in the dorms, things like that, that'd be great. And I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
Senator Bartlett?
Hi, so for those who don't know me, my name is Nick. I'm a newer senator in the education seat. I just wanted to say that I'm meeting with my dean next week to discuss activities and potential projects.
Senator Carbone?
I just remember this right now. So I'm working with the undergraduate coordinator in the School of Nursing. We're creating a concept map for clinical use. So it's part of my project. I want to do something bigger, but that's going to be part of it for this semester. Second, I'm trying, my other project I was working on, getting it done, but I'm not going to present it until I can meet with the dean, and she will be back on Monday. She's been gone for a couple weeks, so I'm trying to get through it.
Any other announcements?
Hi, as some of you might have seen on Facebook, there's been an article that was published and it talks about CSU and OSU. If some of you don't know, during our spring break is the regular voting time for most people. So they were talking about in the article that most people, instead of voting, were going to be at the beach or somewhere different. So to get the word out about voting, I'm hoping to work with the public policy this week, and if you guys want to be a part of that, to try to get people to vote ahead of time, try to make sure that we're being heard before we take our way on spring break. So.
EVP Hooks?
Yeah, the cabinet met yesterday, and we were trying to get some things in place too, so maybe we all need to sit down and talk, because we have a couple of ideas that we think are going to be really good tomorrow.
Advisor Johnson?
I just wanted to thank everybody for getting the word out regarding CSU's career fair that took place last week Friday. I think the initiatives that you guys put together, from the Wake Up event and your help with the fashion show, and just everything overall, we had over 900 students that participated this year, which was one of their highest number as far as students attending. Usually if they hit the 900 mark, it's because there's a lot of community members that are present at the career fair, and this was a student-only career fair. So I can't thank you enough for getting the word out and making sure that our students knew about it and had the opportunity to meet over the 160 employers. So thank you for helping with that.
Anything else?
Can I please get a motion to ratify the February 19th, 2016 meeting minutes?
Senator Roth?
I move to ratify the meeting minutes of February 19th, 2016.
16, or 19. Senator Keys?
A second.
Motion on the floor is to ratify the February 19, 2016 Senate meeting minutes. Is there any discussion on this? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed. All right, first, like I said, last semester I'm going to try and bring different departments in to kind of give updates and any help they can give. So first we have Director Humer from the IS&T department.
Thanks for having me. My name is Nero Humer. I'm the Director of Strategic Initiatives and Partnerships in IS&T. We do really all the technical stuff on campus. Everything you see, we have a part in. So So anything that happens in the application, any new system that comes up, we play a part in it. And I gotta say, I am really impressed that you guys are meeting on a Friday afternoon. Much more motivated than I was on their age. So I want to give you a brief overview of what we do, some of the services we provide, so you're aware of what's available for you guys. It's free. But mainly, I want to hear from you, what's wrong with technology? What's missing? Are there any issues that you see? Are there things that are not working as they should? So that's really my main reason for meeting with you. So let me give you some of the things that we do. We provide all the hardware, software, network, wireless, wired network, all of that we support. All the systems on campus that you use, CampusNet, the parking system, the gates in the garage, MagnaSmart, the procurement system that we have, we support all those systems. And we're on 10th and 11th floor of Rhodes Tower. 10th floor is a computer room with about 500 servers. 11th floor is all the staff that support it. So we have quite a big footprint on campus. We're working on several new initiatives with other universities. We're working with Ohio State, University of Akron, and Kent State very closely on replacing our current ERP system. So we're looking at replacing PeopleSoft for the whole new system. Big, long project, about 3 years. We're at the early stages right now, just evaluating whether we're going to do it or not. It's exciting for us, and it's a big change for the whole university. The end result being less operating costs, make it cheaper to run. We're spending a lot of money running our systems today, and we're trying to cut that back. Because like everybody else, we're under a lot of pressure to cut our expenses. One exciting thing that we started doing last semester, we have an internship program for students. Last semester, we were putting in a whole new system. We got several graduate students, or several seniors rather, to come on our project and help develop it. So the whole semester project was part of the capstone, and we actually got credit for it. So it's an interesting project that we're looking at expanding to more applications. Hopefully with our switch to new ERP system, we can expand that and have many more students going through it. The benefit would be you would get trained, and once you get out of here, you can get a great job with all the experience you get. So we're looking at growing that quite a bit. And that would primarily work not just for IT or CIS majors, but all business majors, because it's more of a functional approach. So if you're in finance, marketing, HR, whatever it is, that would fit in nicely with this kind of program. So that's something that's evolving right now. Do you have any questions about any of those things? Yes?
Do you know if there's a way to, like, possibly add Orton onto CampusNet? Because that's something that I've discussed, and I would love to see that happen.
You mean have like a tab?
Yeah.
For Orton?
I would like to see that students who, let's say, are freshmen and aren't aware of different organizations out there, are able to go on to CampusNet and say, like, oh, like, this is Orton, what is it about? They can, you know, search for different organizations. They can learn, you know, more about what different organizations are about. And I think
So
that
if you
would
want
be
like
great.
a link to it, or have all that
Or have,
information?
like, you know how on CampusNet there's different tabs, like
Yeah.
the student tab, the econ tab. We can have a tab that says Orton, and it will lead right into it.
Okay. I think it'd be relatively easy to put a link to it. I think to pull data from Orxin into there might be a little more involved. Let me check into it.
Can we do a single sign-on, because it is the same, like, can it be a link but also single sign-on?
That's somewhat of a vendor issue. I have to talk to Orxin, because we have, all our other systems use single sign-on, so I have to talk to Orxin. There's some integration. I'll talk to them and see if.
So, I'm also a resident assistant, and residents come to me all the time, and they wonder, sometimes they get kicked off of the Wi-Fi, and stuff like that happens, so I guess that's just one of the student concerns that I hear about.
We do that for fun. There's no timer. I know in the residence hall there's been issues with capacity, because in the residence hall, the average student shows up with 5 devices, 5 wireless devices. So a phone, a tablet, a laptop, a gaming unit, and a smart TV. Those are the usual suspects. So capacity is an issue. If it's a poor signal or something like that, let me know, we can do an audit and increase access points. Is it random, is it just?
I guess it depends. Some days it's very, very slow, and it's happening to all of the residents in the residence hall, including myself. But, and then other days it just randomly blocks. I don't know if it's a combination of the three problems from together.
Is there any particular part of the day, time of the day?
The one day it was all day, but, not very specific.
If you could kind of get some.
More data
parameters
about
around it,
that.
send it to me, we can investigate it. Over there, I think.
Hi, so I'm a student support assistant, lab assistant for ISMT, so I work directly with the problems that she mentioned. In regards to the disconnection of the networks, that's something that happens frequently, and I have a lot of issues. So in regards to that situation, I work like night shift, so when that happens, I'll call 50/50, and their office closes at 5 p.m. And this happens frequently when we get disconnected from the network, and it's kind of like a ripple effect, so everyone's computer starts disconnecting. So when I call them, they're not there, so there's nothing I can do about it, so students get mad at me. So that's an issue, concern that we're having as lab assistants. Also, we just got new printers in the fall. They just gave us all new printers for each lab within ISMT. A lot of these printers are breaking down, whether it's with the trays, whether it's always something. So I don't know if you guys should question the quality of the printers, the vendors you're getting them from, because we just got these. I mean, they're the same kind of printers, just newer.
Are these Xerox printers?
Yeah, they're Xerox, yeah.
The Xerox printers are part of a campus-wide contract that we have, so they provide all the printers. If you're getting a lot of breakdowns, it could be that the printer installed is not meant for the volume that you're seeing. We have high volume printers across campus, so maybe it's replacing it with the high volume printer. Where is this?
This, in regards to disconnection from the networks, that happens for me frequently in business. The printers, we just got a new one at MC and business as well.
This is in the labs? Or?
Yeah, in the labs, ISMT labs specifically.
Okay, those should, okay. Let me look into that. I'll talk to the lab guys and find out. They shouldn't be breaking down the brain, especially brand new printers.
Yeah.
Labs are high volume, so it shouldn't be a problem. Let me look into that. Because this is a very big contract, a lot of printers, and we have them in our offices. So far, we haven't had issues, but I'll check into it.
Thank you.
And this is an in-house question, and that's probably a really great answer for it. You know how downstairs in most of the buildings, they have print labs, where when you log on, you, it automatically takes your printer balance off and you print something. Is there a way, and I don't know if this is your department, for us in the senator office, the cabinet members and the senator members, you can't print, because the printer is in another room. But is there a way to have the computers that are in our office connected to our print account so we can log on, and if we need to print something, and since we have a contract with Xerox, have a printer in our room and it come off of our printer balance, because we're doing senator projects, we're doing cabinet projects. Is there a way to make that happen in our office?
The first part you said was the printer's in another room.
Yeah.
If that printer could work, would that solve?
We can't get into that office. So
Oh,
we-
you just can't get to it.
Yeah.
So you want a printer in your center offices?
Yes.
The student offices?
Yeah, and then to make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do on it, is there a way for it to come off of our printer balance if we're printing?
I believe so, but I have to check. I'm sorry, I can't give you a definite answer, but I believe that can be configured that way. And as far as installing a printer, the only issue, when we put a printer in an area that doesn't have a printer, somebody has to be responsible for knowing how to run it, putting toner in it, putting paper in it, being responsible for the supplies. The fact that your office is locked helps. So it's not an open area where people just walk by and take it. So that would help. Do you have any idea what the page count would be, how much you print? I mean, we talking about thousands?
No, I think, well,
Be as much
there,
as a student count.
yeah.
Okay. Yes.
I would say that would fall under PMP.
Okay.
If that were to happen. Under my job description is like general office.
The Wi-Fi turned on the fourth floor of MC on Tuesdays and
1:30, 1:35. Kyle mentioned it to me.
Okay, cool. I did tell them, so.
Yeah, what happened during the construction process on the fourth floor currently, 4 of our access points were taken out. So access is spotty up there. Once the construction is done, we're gonna do another audit. Once those 4 access points are back live, we're gonna check signal strength in the whole floor, and then if we need more, we'll put more access points in there. I talked to our wireless company people, and that's what I got based on Kyle's question the other day. Yes?
Also, why did they disconnect the Mac devices and MC from printing? Because now the Mac computers are now can't print. I'm not sure why they did that, they never let us know.
The Mac computers in the lab?
Yes, main classroom, they were originally, you're able to print from the Mac, and now we have signs up, you can't print from the Mac computers anymore. And they never told us why they did that, so I'm not sure if you know.
I don't know, I'll take it that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I think it's also in the students.
Okay, yeah.
How many of you pay for Dropbox accounts? How many of you have Dropbox accounts? How about Google Docs? Okay. Do you know that you get a free terabyte of space on Engage 365? So you get the whole suite. You get all of Microsoft Suite, but you also get a free terabyte. It's called OneDrive. You can go whatever you want.
That's Microsoft, right?
Yeah. You each get a terabyte. You each get a terabyte.
I'm sorry, you brought that up. I graduated in May, so once I graduate, what do I have to do? Because I know the software that we downloaded, the Windows and all those things, you guys gave us for free a couple, like, what happens?
When you leave, when you're not a student anymore, when you have no relationship to the university, that goes away. If you're a graduate student, you continue. But it's our agreement, and that's a function of the licensing agreement with Microsoft. While you're a student, it's free.
Just so everyone knows, if you have like Wi-Fi issues or printing issues, this is not like the best time to discuss it, is like during the one time we have an ISMT person here. We have 50/50 for a reason. And so if you have a Wi-Fi issue, you call 50/50 and they put a work order ticket. You have an issue with your printers, you either talk to your supervisor if you're an ISMT employee, or you call 50/50. This is to give an update in any major issues. This isn't to give our own personal issues.
But that's true. There's a lot of Wi-Fi issues. It's good to hear it in one spot. So I appreciate that. We do try and funnel a lot of these issues through our help desk. But I will look into that and the printer issue for the Macs. Any other questions? Is there any software or anything you guys need that you don't have access to? Is there any missing?
Adobe, Adobe Suite.
Adobe is difficult. Adobe licensing is very expensive. It used to be campus license. It's now individual licenses, and they're very expensive. That's a battle we had with them in the past year. So that's a licensing situation that just changed.
Is that the same for with Esri? Because I noticed that like a lot of the urban students who are doing ArcGIS, they can only get it in that lab. Is that because you have to buy individual licenses, or?
More than likely, I'm not familiar with that, and I think that schools have different needs with the software, and it's like that, they'll buy it and install it in their PCs.
Yeah.
Licensing is an issue. You have to be very careful about who gets access to what. You're going to violate licensing agreement. If we give, say, Microsoft software to a non-student, somebody who doesn't have a relationship, we're in violation of the whole contract, and it could be subject to fines. So we have to be very careful about that.
Maybe one more question. We do need to end our time to come to the meeting. So does anyone else have anything? not, I'll share with you his email, and again, because he's also available for you guys to call.
So if there's any questions you have, let me know. And I'd be happy to come back if you guys have any problems, any projects you want to discuss. And as we get these student opportunities in our department, I'll share them with you.
Thank you. All right, Dr. Yarbrough for a student affairs update.
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate the opportunity. While I'm getting organized, let me echo Jamie's comments and appreciation for everything that all of you did to help make Career Fair a great success. So the numbers were tremendous, thank you. And quite frankly, your leadership with the programs leading up to it were a great part of that success. So we look forward to continuing to revamp career services to meet your needs, to help you get gainfully employed, find internships. So thank you for your partnership. I greatly appreciate that. A couple of quick updates, then I do have some volunteer opportunities. So if I can get folks to volunteer, and can one of you capture the names for me and send them to me, that would be a tremendous help. So let me start with just some quick updates. We just concluded our March Board of Trustee meeting. Very successful conversation. A lot of things discussed during that period of time. One of the things I was particularly proud of was the role that student government played in the conversation related to the cost of textbook affordability. So Emily and Paul and others were part of that conversation, and I appreciate the time and energy that went into that. We took it from a three-pronged approach because this is a highly complex issue. So we addressed it over a span of about an hour and 10 minutes or so, which is extraordinary at the Board of Trustees. We talked about maintaining costs from an administrative perspective. Students talked about maintaining costs from their perspective, and the faculty addressed the same thing. So again, thank you all for great work there. Also, it was brought up the proposal for meal planning costs for next year. So I want to be careful how I say this so that it is 100% accurate and you understand this. This is the meal plan cost if you're a resident student, okay? So if you're a commuter student or you're buying an optional package, this doesn't pertain to that. It's only if you're a resident student, you go with the meal plan. They approved a 1.25% increase for this coming year, which is the lowest increase of any of the state institutions within Ohio. So we're happy to be able to keep those costs extremely low for you. Let me move on then to the last announcement, and then I have the volunteer opportunities. You see the postcard about the Women's Leadership Series. Emily was there last year. Anybody else participating? I think Parker was there. Yeah, several of you were there last year, so thank you very much. That was the first annual Women's Leadership Symposium series that we had. We had over 600 people there for year one. So this is year two. We're moving it to the Holstein Arena because we think we're going to blow the doors open when we had it in the ballroom and not be able to accommodate the crowd. So we're anticipating that, and we're excited about the product that you see before you. This is really an extraordinary series of conversations, presentations, and panels. So I hope that all of you can attend as your schedule allows. It's the kind of thing that you can come and go to while the schedule goes all day long. We recognize that students need to come and go for their classes and other commitments, so please do that. I'm asking you to also spread the word to your fellow students. Last year, the 600 people there, I'm going to estimate about 500 of them were alumni and community members, and less than 100 were students. And really help if we could get our student number greater than our community members and alumni members. 2 volunteer opportunities now. Let me deal first with the Volunteer Summit. So this is not student volunteerism, this is university-wide volunteerism. So this deals with board members, visiting boards, those types of things. So it's the university training and recognizing all the volunteers that help CSU. And I'm looking for 10 to 12 students who can help us on April 21st from 8:30 to noon. Okay? So if you're interested in that, I'd invite you to raise your hand. We'll capture the names, and if you can send them to me, I will coordinate with Brian Breitholtz from Alumni Services to get you further information. I'll repeat it again while you're getting the names. It's April 21st from 8:30 to noon, and this is the Volunteer Summit. I need 10 to 12 student leaders to help us with that. Once we get these names, we'll communicate all the logistics. You'll also be invited to a dinner the evening before, kind of a recognition dinner for all the leaders. And so if you can participate in that, that would be fantastic as well.
Put your hands up high, just so.
Put your name down, Brooks, Reddy, Babiote, Patel, Lavorse, Jones, Jang, Martin, Najib, Carmel.
Fantastic. As usual, my best volunteers are SGA leaders, so I appreciate that greatly. Here's another volunteer opportunity, and I'm looking for 2 students. This is a big time commitment. It's a huge topic. The topic is revamping the first year experience for students here at Cleveland State. So what that means is looking at everything from recruitment events to the time you finish your first year here at CSU. So recruitment, day 1 orientation, day 2 of orientation, ASC 101 course, all of that combined in all the programs and activities that we do. We have a committee of folks that I'm included on that are looking to blow that up and revamp the whole process. I'm looking for 2 student leaders with a couple of caveats. Can't be a senior, and in a perfect world, I need someone who started here as a first-year student and someone who transferred as a student. Okay? So with that caveat, we'll collect the names, and then I'll have to vet these and pick one from each of those categories. And this is a big time commitment. So this is working with a group of faculty, a couple of administrators, myself, and it'll be a year-long project that we'll work on. I'm stunned at the interest. This is fabulous.
Our graduate students?
Graduate students are not eligible for that, so I apologize. Thanks for that clarification. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to start for this year and it'll continue into next year, which is why I can't have seniors as a part of
Junior
it.
transfer.
You can see. Alright, same process. Put your hand up. Aye. Babiote, Lavorse, Jones, hand down Jones, Bartlett, Cardone, Kosick, Martin, Ms. Kelly, you can put your hand down. We'll add her to it. She's a new senator. That'll be up to decide. No. I saw you. Parker. Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for collecting those and sending those to me. I appreciate it. Happy to take any questions that you may have. Anything you need to know from me? All right, thank you very much for
All right, next we have an executive board update. President Malasa.
Hi guys. I'd just like to echo some of the recognition for our centers, Nika, Keegan, and Deanna for their Meet the Dean event, and also Gabby Svengross for the Game of Life event. I heard both were very successful. So the executive board presented to, not the executive board, myself, Vice President Quam, Speaker All, and Senator McCarthy and Senator Macy were presented to the board of trustees this week with a very successful presentation on textbooks. And Bill and Lori will be looking for some people to come with us down to Columbus to lobby for that early in April. So stay tuned about that. We need volunteers for a few initiatives. The first one is one that Director Cossack mentioned in the beginning of the meeting, which is a voting initiative. Cleveland.com came out with an article earlier this week about how the Ohio primaries are during us and Ohio State spring break. That's Tuesday, March 15th. And so we want to just encourage people to vote. This isn't like promoting any candidates. We have to be, you know, bipartisan in just promoting voting in general. So if you'd like to help with that, please email me or Director Yasin. We also need volunteers for Final Friday, which is March 25th. This is really a great opportunity to engage with students, to get their feedback on a whole bunch of issues, to push any surveys that we have circulating. And it's a really great initiative that Director Hooks started, so we really need to, you know, be more present at those. We also need volunteers for the spring open house on April 2nd. This is a really great time to engage potential freshmen. So if you would like to do that, please email myself or Vice President Kalam. April, as Parker mentioned, is also Sexual Violence Prevention Month. SGA has co-sponsored a couple events in the past for this. The executive board will probably be sponsoring at least one, maybe two events for this, so stay posted for that. I'll be sending out emails. Our committee meets next week for sexual violence prevention, the subcommittee, and so we'll probably be doing some event planning at that time. Other than that, I'm good. I highly recommend, if any, I know there are only a few names, but if students want to attend the volunteer summit, it's a really great opportunity.
Any questions, President Lawson, Dr. Warren?
For those of you who don't know, you can early vote for the primary. I know it's open now for Cuyahoga County, and that's literally like right down the street in 30th, but and all counties have at least one office open, their headquarters, to go early vote. So you want to go that day.
So that's what we'll be promoting, and I know OSU student government is doing like shuttle buses from their campus to the Board of Elections down in Franklin County. So we can brainstorm, and like I said, even myself or Director Yasin, and we'll be doing something next week.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay. There were just a couple changes, and I added all the new senators onto committees. We did realize that the university committees are not getting the right emails. For some reason, the person that I notified that notifies the university committees, wasn't sending the list because she didn't get the first one I sent out, in September. So, Advisor Johnson and I are now communicating through email. She's going to send me which ones are going on so that I can email people that are on those committees. And please make sure you reply back to me. Even if you got it and you're going, let me know that you're going. So everybody is attending that. So we are represented on the committees.
Does anyone have any discussion? This was made, motion, and second in SAC committee. Any objection? Hearing none, motion passed. All right, next we have a treasurer update from Treasurer Singh. We did not get a copy of the budget. Raise your hands, how many?
so the finance committee update, please take a minute and look at this front page. We have finance committee balance left is $25,000. Anyone have a question on the front page? No. Oh. Alright, so this was the application from the fourth hearing, and our starting balance was $51,000, and we got $96,000 request. Somehow we have to cut it down so we can be fair to everyone equal. So the finance committee decided, it took us over 8 hours to decide, and we came up with this. All the highlighted in the green, those are the COLA events. Afterwards, want to speak to the Senate, you can come up. And also, look at the third page, that's the breakdown for the Afterwards.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Before I start, I have a couple of things to pass out for everyone. Now, this first one, there's only one copy, so you guys are gonna have to look over it. The same one? Okay, but this one is more detailed, so everyone will get a chance to look at it. And then this next one is a flyer. And this one, you can take one, and if you don't have enough, share with your neighbor. And I'll wait till everyone has a copy signed.
Did everyone get a copy? Just take a look at it and that's okay.
Okay, so what I'm just gonna go over everything in detail so everybody can be on the same page as everyone. Okay, so April 15th, I'm putting together the first annual Gala Renaissance Ball. Okay. It's gonna start at 6 o'clock and it's gonna end at 2:30. We're gonna have an after party that's gonna follow it. So the event consists of a lot of diversity, African food, there's a fashion show, there's a play, there's acting, there's a lot. So, listed at the top, if you guys follow along the paper. So the host is a comedian, entertainer, model, fitness trainer, also known as Mr. Africa. He's charging my organization $1,000 to appear that day. next thing I have is my DJ. He's gonna be DJing that night. He's well known, an international DJ. He's known as DJ Burundi, and he's also charging $1,000 too as well. The food is gonna be catered by Samdima Elegance, which is an African caterer that distributes African ethnic food. They're charging us $5,000, and if you see the menu, it should be going around, you guys will see the food that's listed, so you can see how everything came up to that price. The next thing is dessert. As you see, there's gonna be dessert at the event: cheesecake, red velvet cake, carrot cake, German chocolate, whipped cream cake. The dessert total is gonna cost $500. Decorations, as you all know, you guys see how the ballroom is set up. Now, the whole purpose of the event is we wanted to transform the entire ballroom to give it that world view of elegance. We want to transform it because it's a ball, so we want to show people that, you know, come to school, dress up. You don't dress up every day. This is an opportunity for everybody to dress up and feel beautiful. So we encourage everyone to come dressed up in their native African attire if they have it, if not in your formal ball gown, similar to going to prom. So now, uplighting. If some of you don't know, I'll tell you, uplighting is actually expensive. So uplighting, what the system does, the way this room is with the uplighting, you can transform this whole room into like a different place, and it looks completely different. So checking on Amazon, there's like a couple of uplighting equipment that ranges from like $13 to $91, but I actually found out at the university that we actually have some uplighting equipment here, and I was told that I can rent it from the school, and if I need more, that I have to go through a third party to get some more. So now, included in the decoration is tablecloths. If you use anything on campus, you still have to pay. So tablecloths and everything, I have to pay for that. The tables that we'll have, we need some uplighting on the tables because, as I stated earlier, everything is going to be transformed. You're not going to recognize the ballroom from what you're going to be. Curtains, I also use curtains to help enhance the display of the creation that I have envisioned. Also, African sculptures, water beads, and a red carpet, because it is a red carpet event. People are going to be walking into a red carpet event. Now, I have a presentation by a company called African Essentials. Now, that company talks and explains to people where black soap and where shea butter comes from and the benefits of using black soap and shea butter. So what the company is going to do is put together a presentation and give everybody that knowledge that they need to know about black soap and shea butter. And they're also going to give people some of their products as well. Now, fabric. It's called Ankara fabric. Now, the Ankara fabric is the fabric that what I'm wearing. This is Ankara fabric. So throughout the event, students or other people, they're going to be dressed up in Ankara fabric. They're going to be escorting people in. So I need the fabric to dress up the students, everybody that wants to do it. So everything in total, as you see, is $10,000. Now the next thing that I put is my budget cost that I don't have to pay for, based on the people that I know outside of the community, because I teach African dance and I'm an African dance instructor. So with my working with different people, I have little pools of different connects that I can get where I don't have to pay for certain stuff. So the first thing I have is a traditional African singer that's gonna come and perform, gonna give some native songs and soulful tunes, and I don't have to pay for that. The second thing that I have is EK Dance Group. It's a very well-known dance group at Kent State University that performs for every African night. They also performed here. The second group I have is Famous by Force. They've also performed here at CSU's African Night annually. Now, I have a choreographer that's going to put together the second fashion show of the night. Now, the fashion show is not your average fashion show. It's going to be like a play/choreographed dance. So it's something that most people are not yet to see. So I don't have to pay for that either. Also, the clothing for the fashion show is also going to be provided. Normally, if you do a fashion show, you have to pay somebody to actually give you their clothing to wear and they can have models. But I'm cutting that cost out. I have 2 camera people that I don't have to pay that are coming to do this on goodwill in favor. African jewelry and beading that the escorts will wear is also included with that. I don't have to pay for that. And I have traditional makeup artists that are gonna come in. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys seen African models, how they have tribal marks on their bodies. They have like different foundation makeup to enhance their beauty. So I have somebody that's gonna come in and do that. Now the second thing, the cost cut is due to the help of CSU students. Now when you implement students in organizations, you can also cut your costs. So that's what I did. So I'm gathering poets on campus. Based on my organization is to teach people African dance. So members of my organization is gonna be putting together a dance. Next thing, I'm gathering ushers that are gonna take part in this too and perform. The fashion show, the first fashion show is gonna be presented by Project Shade, which is another organization on campus. They are doing a melanin project. If some of you don't know what melanin project is, a skin tone variation. So what they're doing is showing how no matter what your skin color looks like, that you can match it and put it together with anything. So we decided to collab with them on this event to put this together. So now we have models, musicians, henna artists, photographers, people to help set up, break down, makeup artists, bodyguard, and male and female. Now the bodyguards, you're probably thinking, what is that? If you guys seen Coming to America, you see the women dressed up as maidens that are throwing the rose petals. Those are what I'm calling the ushers, because if I say maidens, people won't know. That's why I want them to see it. The bodyguards are males too, dressed up in that African fabric, just standing there greeting people to come in. So I need people to come in to play those active roles. Now on the back, if you guys can turn it around. So again, bodyguards are acting too, so that's where the actors and actresses. So now the other part I would like to go to is the problems that I have with SGA or the Senate. I don't know who's who, or if it's SGA and if it's the senators together. I really don't know because I'm confused. So now the first thing that I want to touch topics on, I put students. If everybody could just take a moment and realize, at the end of the day, each and every one of us in this room, we are students. Nobody is better than anybody. Nobody is above anybody. Nobody is lower than anybody. We are all students. So that's one fundamental thing that nobody should ever forget. We are students. Okay? The second thing that I put is unity. The purpose of organizations to even exist on campus is to be unified and to be able to expose that cultural diversity. So with this organization, SGA or the Senate, there's a lot of negative animosity that I have felt since the beginning. As you know, I just started this organization last semester. And I feel as if you guys are supposed to be the voices and the advocates of other organizations like myself. And I just feel as if that's not being done. But I'll further elaborate on that. I'll just go down my list. Diverse, I put it in there. Diversity is essential in everything you do. When you leave CSU, you'll go out into the workforce field, and if you can't work next to the person that looks like you, or you can't understand why the person that looks like you does the things that they do, there's no way for you to enhance in the workforce. It's going to be impossible. It's essential to understand why people do the things they do, and understanding different backgrounds, different cultures, different diversity. Okay? So with this event that I'm putting together, I want to explore that. I want people to see that the continent of Africa has many, many different countries. It's so diversified. Everything in the United States, and no matter where you go, there's a hint of Africa, there's a touch of Africa in it. So I want to bring that to the campus to open up the eyes of each and every person. And I feel like that every time I try, there's a lot of people that try to stop me from doing it. Do you have a question?
Yes, I just have a quick question. How can you present
to a governing body that you're asking money for and then just insult us?
It's not insulting, I'm stating something to you. You didn't let me finish.
Okay, I'm gonna let you finish.
Thank you.
And then
Thank you. Okay. Now, discrimination, org, and culture. Why I put that down is because I feel in particular that a lot of different organizations have been discriminated against based on whatever their organization is about. And I feel like this, I don't know if you call it an institution or I don't know how you want to classify it. I feel like a lot of people have decided, oh, I have friends in this organization, so I'm going to make sure I allocate funds to this organization. Or I don't want to give this organization because I feel that it's not beneficial or it's not going to add value to the student body. I put deception down too, and I'll elaborate on that. I was told that in order for my organization to be, funded, that I have to add value. I don't understand what that means, adding value. Because my organization, personally, I believe my organization can add value to anybody. It just depends how you're receptive to accepting it. And I feel like throughout this whole process, I've been deceived. I've been told one thing from other people and another thing from other people. So it's like, who do you believe, who do you trust? And that's not how it's supposed to be. This particular organization, I'm supposed to come to you guys and say, okay, look, how can you help me with this? How can you enhance this to make it better? But that's not what I'm getting. I don't like to feel that way, and that's not how it should be. I put future leaders because everyone in here today, you guys are future leaders. We're all future leaders. You never know where you're going to see the next person. You never know where you're going to see me again. I never know where I'm going to see you. You never know what you did in college, how it's going to help you to excel into the future. You never know. So that's why it's important when you're dealing with somebody to make sure that you deal with them with respect and honor and you treat them the way that you want to be treated. The next thing I put is representation of organization. Each and every person that's in an organization is a leader and is the face of the organization. How you act or whatever you do, if it's good, you're representing that organization. If one individual does something to me or to anybody, whoever knows you that's associated to your organization is going to think that that whole organization is a bad organization based on one person. So I feel as it's essential that each and every person should be respectful, should be honest, and should be the best person they can be to represent their organization. And also I put that too because I wanted you to know that I am the president of my organization, so I am a representation of my organization. My organization, the event that I've been planning since last semester, the way it's going, it seems as if it's gonna play out to my members as if I'm not a serious person or as if, I just talk. But it's not true. Members don't know the process that you have to go to hold a successful event. The loopholes you have to jump through to make sure things go through the way you planned it out. So promoting since last semester, again, I've been promoting this event since last semester. Some of you all sitting here have personally purchased candy from me because I was selling candy in the Interlink to raise money for this event. The money that I raised that day, I can't remember the day, was $200. $200 that I raised is going for alcohol because I have alcoholic beverages that are going to be provided at the party. And I know the university does not fund that, so I had to fundraise on my own. So now the money, I put that down because, again, why I put all these lists is because it's like everything that I'm being given from each different people. So I put money down only because I was told that if I collab with, the only way I'm able to get as much money as I'm requesting is if I collab with SGA, which is not true because I pulled it up on the computer, I printed it out. So I'm going to read it to you guys in case you don't know. SGA is implementing a special fund for large events. Funding cap is currently $10,000 per event, pending ratification. Funding applications for collab co-sponsorship are evaluated more rigorously. Funding decisions are more subjective, weighted towards large events including multiple organizations, enhanced student life, and out-of-classroom experience at CSU, are open to student grad regardless of organization membership. Now also I want to read to you guys the part that specifies priority consideration. Priority funding consideration shall be given to organizations whose program active or membership, enhanced student lives, and out-of-classroom experience at CSU are open to all students regardless of organization membership status, are held on campus, include more students, have demonstrated an effort to independently raise funds, have a track record of using previously allocated funding ethically and appropriately according to policies, procedures, collaborate with other student organizations, and lastly, promote CSU pride and tradition. Outside looking in, if we were to go and take a vote or a tally, being that this organization just started last semester, I know I met all those priority outlined, detailed topics. So now I'll open the floor in case any of you have questions.
Yeah, it's interesting.
A couple things I want to point out. Your request was late, 5 days late.
That's correct.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you requesting 10,000 from the COLA budget?
Yes.
Okay, that's the new. Basically, I just want to tell her request was 5 days late. That's why the finance committee decided not to fund her for this hearing.
So I just want to say, like, this looks like a really great event, and I'm really glad that a new organization is being this ambitious, and I think it's going to be really great. I'm just confused, like, I know it's April 15th, and there is another finance hearing before then, is
Yeah,
that correct?
March 25th.
So March 25th is the next, so is there a reason, like, we have a finance committee that usually goes through all this in detail, like, line by line, and I know that you did let her speak, correct? So I just, like, all the other organizations, unless their event is before a finance committee hearing, that's the only time that they get to come before the Senate. Like, our finance committee spends, like, Treasurer Singh said, 8 hours, deliberating about line by line, dollar by dollar, just to, make sure that we're being responsible. So I just, is there a way that you can, like, submit another request and do it for March 25th?
Okay, yes, so I initially intended to do that before coming here. That's what I'm going to do. Because as I stated, you have to abide by rules. I'm gonna reap the consequences for me not submitting my Form N on time, but I honestly feel that that's where the deception comes in place, because I've heard that organizations that have been late have been funded in the past. But because I'm gonna follow the rules as you're stating now.
Can you name the
Wait,
Can you name those organizations?
Can I name the org?
Yes.
If I name the organizations, I will also as well name the people that said the stuff.
We're not gonna
Probably
do
wouldn't
that.
want me to
We're not
do
gonna
that.
do that. Advisor Johnson?
Okay, I just want to address a few things because I feel like it's one of those things that is kind of bubbling and bubbling and bubbling in the room, and it's been bubbling throughout the week. So first off, am I correct in seeing that you were funded $3,160 for this event? Because it says so on the sheet
No,
that I
that
was
was funded. No, she got funded.
That was previous
events.
funded that they received? Okay. Okay, because I was sitting here looking at this thinking that they were funded then, no. So they weren't funded anything for this event. I'm just doing some clarification checks. You weren't funded anything for this event because it was told that they were late?
Yeah, the finance committee decided it was late, so we're not gonna fund the late event.
Okay.
It was
So with it being late, did we still have her though present?
Yes.
Okay, so with that being said, and what President Halassa said, a second presentation, I'm assuming, is not needed then, seeing how the members have already taken the time and presented.
Yeah, she's gonna put another request for the next hearing.
Put another request in for next hearing. And I also just kind of based off of funding principles, just want to kind of do a little bit of backtracking here. Just so you all know, with GFAC and how things are funded, student government recently went to GFAC and requested an additional $50,000 to help fund various student organizations. Now, with that being said, at this previous budget hearing, if I'm wrong, you can correct me, Treasurer. But there were over $90,000 in requests, and we had only $50,000 to give to our student organizations. So when you look at this request, although I think it's a phenomenal event and something that's definitely worthy and awesome, we also have to look at the fact that $10,000 is a lot of money out of our budget. And as the year goes, if I'm wrong, please someone correct me, as the year goes on with budgets, you kind of, you have so much budget money to give throughout the semester, throughout the year. And towards the end of the year, you don't have a lot left because hopefully you've given it to students, they've had events. So we're reaching that point in the semester. So with you coming forward and asking for $10,000, that's a significant amount of money. So I just want to kind of just do a little backtracking, talk a little bit about GFAC, just how that works. Like at this point in time, like student government isn't the only organization that asks GFAC for money. GFAC funds our Student Bar Association, there's Sport Club Council that comes out of there, our media organizations come out of GFAC, Campus Activities Board, Viking Expeditions, I'm probably even forgetting a few. So overall, it's not just student government's fund of GFAC money to go and continuously get money from. Yes, student government can go and request funds, which they have, and received some, but I think as far as student government goes, you requested your money from GFAC, you have what you're going to receive. What we have left is the budget money we can pull from, and that's for all organizations. So I just a little clarification.
President Alonso.
I just have a couple of quick things. So first of all, I would like to see this happen at some point, but I do want to make a recommendation that if you were promoting this last semester, in the future, you should request it like earlier on, even if the event isn't until spring semester or whatever. Another thing is, I just want to talk about, I don't want, like, I'm the president of SJP, but I don't want my organization to be discriminatory in any way, shape, or form. And you did mention that was one of the problems that you had, and I just want to know, what happened, like, how can we remedy it? We don't want that kind of business in this organization.
Well, and there's a lot of things that occurred. So, for one, I was told that, one of the reasons why the organization wasn't funded is because it wasn't going to add value to the student body. And I felt as if, that doesn't make any sense because
I'm going to get a lot about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I know last semester, you really don't want me to get into names. I don't think that it's going to be very professional.
And it's not necessary, so continue to address my question.
I just want to make sure, so is that the only thing, or?
Is that the only thing?
Yeah.
No, I know that other different ethnic organizations put together events last semester, and they were funded over $10,000. The Lebanese Student Association, I believe they had an event and they were funded $12,000.
No, they were only funded $4,000.
I said I believe, so I didn't say it's a fact. I said I believe. So
I just want to make sure, like, if there's some feelings of discrimination, obviously I want to address that and eliminate it in my organization, but it can't be like what we think or what we feel. It has to be, I need facts. And I really don't want you to feel like you're being discriminated against in any way, shape, or form, because I think it's a great event.
okay, so you said you're the president.
Yes,
Okay.
you can talk to me.
Yeah, so yeah, if you want facts, I can give you facts outside of this, but I do not want to do that in this room because that's very unprofessional. But I can address any other questions.
So, just clarification, you're not requesting money right now. You're going to go to the
I'm
next.
gonna go to the next hearing because as stated by members of the organization, I didn't abide by the rules.
Okay.
And because I was late was one of the second reasons why I was denied. So I'll accept that and go ahead to the next hearing. But before I did that, I wanted everyone to understand how I felt so they can understand. Because it's not only me, there's a lot of people, we're students. So if I'm feeling this way, I know for a fact other students' organizations are feeling that way. You don't see them here, but believe it or not, we're students, we talk, we know. So I guess for now, I'm like, what, the voice for other student organizations that don't want to actually come out and voice what they're feeling.
Marjorie Johnson?
I just want to say, I think it takes a lot of courage for you to come in front of the Senate and state your concerns like this. So I want to thank you for putting all this information together and coming and presenting this in front of us. I also want to say, since how it is even though your paperwork was late, you still did go in front of the funding hearing, you did that part.
Yes.
So, I mean, if you do submit more paperwork and do decide that you want to request funding, I don't know if you necessarily would have to attend unless there's additional questions that you'd like to answer, because I feel like your time is also valuable. But also, you know, keeping in mind that $10,000 is a lot of money for an event, and in future events, you know, like this, where we're planning a large event, making sure that we have the funds, the space and everything before we start promoting. So that way we can make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row before we start getting people excited about the event and getting them to the event. It sounds like I've seen you out there at your table selling candy bars and that kind of stuff, that you've also done some fundraising on your side of things. So I would love to see the funding and everything in place before you guys put all of that effort into it, and then we can't have the event because we are limited with funding.
I understand, but the funding, it has always been a major part because you can't do an event without the funding. But also at the same time, if you want a successful event, you have to start promoting early. So that was the initiative that I took, to start promoting early last semester, so that way a lot of students will know about it and then start trying to figure out what I can do to raise those funds.
Yeah, no, I understand completely. And with being a new student organization, you know, mad props to you for putting together an event like this. Just in the future, if you know that in April you want to have this large event, already in the beginning, like September, let's ask for the funding then to secure it, that you have it, and secure your space. So then the hard part that you have to do then is just plan the awesome event because you have the money. So with that being said, I think you've talked, you've let your voice be known. So I think now the steps moving forward, if you would like to attend the funding hearing, the next funding hearing, you can, although you already have, so it's up to you, I think, if you want to or not, but making sure that you submit your paperwork on time. And then as far as the issues, you know, with the discrimination and how you were feeling, I know we talked about that a little bit. If you want to talk more, I'm definitely available. And I think President Halassa would also like to hear your concerns.
So, we do still need to approve the budget. So unless anyone has any other questions.
Yeah, so, and also included in this budget, so these are the made, motion, and seconded. And the motion that was made for Afro 5 was our recommendation was going to be reconsidered with the next round of funding. So that is was made, motion, and seconded with this. So it's not something we have to add, it's already.
Okay, so, Senator Roth.
I just also want to make a comment back to one of the initial points you made here in regards to requesting funding directly from the Senate. That did happen earlier in the semester where an organization was funded after funding hearings, and I think we're right now in the process of creating laws so that doesn't happen, because we want stuff to go through finance, because of the whole Senate has to need to deal with every finance budget. It's a lot of time for every Senate meeting. So in the future, it's shifting towards that direction where you can request money through coming here, but it's going to require, like, basically, like, you have to not be requesting back the funding.
Is there any other discussion? Again, this was being motion second in Finance Committee, so I do want to move forward with this. Any other discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passes. All right, next we have
So we gotta move $250 from the Senate to the e-board for the t-shirts for the Gavin project, and someone make a motion for that. Can you explain?
We just didn't hear them.
Alright, so the T-shirts that Gabby ordered, they cost $550. They're supposed to come from $289 from the e-board budget and $250 from the Senate. For Jamie did the whole math thing and she took it out from my e-board budget. So I want to move $250 from Senate and put it to the e-board budget.
And why is that, I just want to know why is it coming out of the Senate's money?
Because there was a senator project.
For Director
Director.
Sunrose?
Yes.
But isn't she a director, so shouldn't it come out the e-board budget?
You're not supposed to.
Hold on. Secretary.
Okay, so we had talked about this like multiple times, like, Amy Sunrose and Director Jackowski, because senators were gonna be helping and they were getting the t-shirts. We thought like split it in half, and then there are senators who weren't using their $250. So $250 was come out of the Senate and $289 was out of the e-board. So it was like kind of like half and half, because some of the e-board will be, she's the director, and half is gonna fall on us, and then some, because senators were using the t-shirts as well, then half of it would come from there. That's how that happened.
Any other discussion? If not, someone like to entertain a motion? Senator McCarthy.
So will this come, what budget is this supposed to come out of? The Senate project budget?
Yeah, the Senate project.
From who? Secretary.
Senator Magnus, we like talked about it and he said, yeah, if it's okay, we can just use his money for it, since his money is not being used because of the question.
Senator Keating.
So, sorry, I just wanna, just for better defining the motion, are we just moving the $250 correct into?
To the e-board budget.
Okay, so that's all we're doing?
That's all we do.
All right.
So does somebody want to entertain a motion? Senator Keating.
I move to move $250 from the Senate discretionary, right? To the Senate budget to the executive board budget.
Senator Carlo.
I second.
Motion on the floor is to move $250 from the Senate discretionary budget to the executive board budget. Is there any discussion on this? Senator Walsh?
How much is?
The senator project.
Vice President?
Yeah, you're gonna have to run that one back, and then, because it's meant to, or someone has to make a friendly amendment, it's meant to come from the Senate project, not Senate discretionary.
Senator McCarthy?
Okay, I move to make a friendly amendment to Senator Keating's motion, changing the budget. This is going to be coming from the discretionary to Senator project budget.
Senator Keating, you approve?
Excellent.
Senator Carlo, you approve?
Yeah.
Okay. Current motion on the floor is to move $250 from the Senate project budget to the executive board budget. Is there any discussion on this? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Any more questions?
Okay, next we have AVP Cossack and Senator LaVorse.
Hello, friends. Hello. Take two of telling you guys about the Cleveland State Office as well. This is something that Public Policy Committee has been working on. It's a really exciting event because this would offer a showcase event for CSU leaders of all student organizations as well as ours. And we would be collaborating with an organization, a new organization on campus, which is Phi Alpha Delta Phi Law Fraternity. And so both Student Government and Phi Alpha Delta acting as professional groups on campus. It was exciting to know that we could come together and host an event that would, offer networking with professionals such as local political leaders and peers here on campus. So the general information about the event is a semi-formal event. The date is Friday, April 22nd. The time is 6 to 8 p.m. with optional networking from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's going to be in the Cleveland State University Ballroom, 311 Super D. The purpose of the event, again, is to engage student leaders of CSU with administration representatives of the university and local politicians. They will see a formal invitation, and there will also be a presentation from student government as well as Phi Alpha Delta. All of this has been, as far as the event information, all of it has been confirmed by Common Services. And there will be, another thing about it too, is that there will be 30 tables throughout the ballroom, and there's six chairs each table, so that means 2 professionals and 4 student leaders at every table. So yeah, so the maximum capacity in the ballroom is like 180 guests, so we have to cap that. Again, 2 representatives from every student organization on campus. All student government association members will be included, including Advisor Johnston. So all of you guys are invited. All Phi Alpha Delta members will be invited because we are collabing on this event. And then these are the invitations that Senator Keating helped me make. These will be sent out in email form, but we're just waiting on the funding currently, and that's what we came to you to talk about today. As far as the catering, CSU, dining services already been learned, everything. As far as that, we have hors d'oeuvres, beverages, light desserts, all of these things. We came to approximately $550, including the table costs and everything of that nature.
Just looking at centerpiece ideas, we wanted to do little vases of flowers. We were looking at Amazon, which came out to $300. For the flowers, I was talking to a vendor from my work who said he could give me a discount. Said it was about $200, and then centerpiece. And then for the name tags, we were thinking public policy could help us with this. Senator Vasio, Senator Fink said they would be interested in helping for all the invitees. Table numbers came out to 46, and security for the ballroom is $55 an hour for the 4 hours that Phi Alpha Delta will be fully and I'm treasurer's. Budget breakdown total is $1,200. There is $400 in the public policy account. So we were just looking for what can we say for that? Anyone have questions?
We cannot fund a closed event, even if it's for us.
But the thing is the money can come out of the Senate's money. It can come out of the Senate's money, or it can come out of e-board money. It can't come from the money that we fund for organizations. That's why we brought it to the Senate.
Because CoLab said they cannot fund closed events, so they said it's to the Senate.
I have a problem with spending student dollars for closed events, just in general.
Advisor Johnson, did you have something?
I just had a question, about how many people did you plan on having in attendance?
180.
180, and what was your food breakdown, how much?
550.
It just seems like a low amount of money for food for that.
Most of the event is just hors d'oeuvres.
Okay.
It's just standard food. It's not supposed to be like entrees or
Oh,
anything.
yeah.
But see, we try to go out as little as possible with the money. Again, the event is showcasing the leaders of CSU.
Did you reach out to the student organization office in the Department of Student Life to see if they could help with sponsorship?
I did not, but I mean, that
Might
could
be something you could consider. So I'm thinking.
Any other questions?
Wait, what's the date of that again?
April 22nd. April 22nd.
You said there was a balance in the pre-walker attorneys. Did that come from student government?
No, we have budgets.
Okay, does somebody want to entertain a motion for this?
Something I want to add. If senators want to use this as their senator project, that's something we can look for too. Because honestly, I have pneumonia and I'm here, and because I really care about this event. I really care about showcasing CSU. I feel this is a great event. We're inviting local politicians. We're inviting people of higher stature of CSU. Organizations come to us all the time talking about how they don't know where the disconnect is, and this is a great time not only to connect leaders of CSU, but it's a great time to connect student leaders of CSU, local politicians, people of that nature. So I'm really just asking for your support. I've been talking about this a long time, and I feel like the public policy and I have been going at it all alone, and I just need your guys' support on this one. It's something I care deeply about. I was literally in the hospital yesterday, and I just want you guys to think about this before you make a rash decision based on something that you just heard.
Any, Senator Katie?
So, sorry, thank you for coming out, by the way, I know you're like dying, but. Are you asking for 1,200 from, like, people, or 600, and 600 is coming from Delta?
Well, there's 400 in public policies committee account. If you look on the sheet, is it on the front? So we have 400, so we need technically 800 and has paid for the security. So really, so 1,200 minus the 400, 800, 800 minus the 220 is the difference.
So is that already taken in the collab with Phi Alpha Delta? Or is it before or after the collab from Phi Alpha Delta problem?
The thing that happened with the collab is that I recently, when I went to the budget hearing, they said, oh, well, we can't use the collab budget to fund a closed event. So none of it can come out of the collab budget. This would have to come out of people, like the Senate's discretionary budget, or it'd have to come out of people's, their senator project money, something of that nature.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But is this, I'm talking about from Phi Alpha Delta, not from SGA yet.
Yeah, for Phi Alpha Delta, we just have, like, as of right now, the organization committed to funding the security.
We just started last
Oh, so this is already with the security being paid for?
Yeah, this is already with the security being paid for.
Got it.
Director Bowen?
Okay, so if ever there's a discrepancy on what the rules are or what we are supposed to do, please come to me or the directors of policies and procedures. For GFAC, this is what it says. GFAC will not fund GFAC unit events that do not relate to the educational research or outreach mission of the university and board. Events that are not open to the university community. We have to abide by GFAC, we cannot fund this. Again, if there's any misconception, you don't know, ask me, because all this planning could have happened without, or with more understanding. And we can't go against GFAC, because that's where we are. These are revised spring 14, unless Advisor Johnson knows a more revised copy. Okay.
I am prepared to make this event open for everyone, and I just honestly, I'm really upset because I have told multiple people about this event. Again, this is my fault. I should have went to Director of Policies and Procedures, but I just want you guys to know that I care deeply about this event. It's now open to everyone, so.
Yeah, I guess the realistic thing is 180 people might not show up, so the capacity is there.
Senator Walsh? Do you have a question?
So we've had events that were closed that are funded by GFAC, though. Like the Senator Retreat, everything in our whole budget is funded by GFAC.
We're allowed to
So
host
how do you explain
organizational
that?
events that's for professional development. Networking is a professional development.
We do need to, let's continue with what we're doing here. So is there any other concerns about this?
Yeah, Randy, while you're here, in pertaining to the closed events and all that, it seems to me, correct me if I'm mistaken, that it seems like it's open for the first 180 students, and then it's closed after it hits the cap. Would it still be an open event after, like, it just has a cap at a maximum amount of people that can attend?
It's not specified.
Because for me, it just seems like it's like a first come, first served, as soon as the capacity's filled. I mean, that just follows with any other room with fire safety.
Advisor Johnson?
Just looking at the event and hearing, I don't know if it would necessarily be considered a closed event, because an invitation to each student organization to have 2 members present is presenting itself. So that's where I feel like there's some gray area. Because you're opening the event to 2 members per organization, and you're also inviting people from campus. The only part that seems a little bit shady then is you're only allowing 2 people from each organization, but all of student government can attend. So, but like what you said, if you invite 2 people from each organization, and then if other members show.
Anything? Senator Jar?
Student government, like, to go off what you're saying, representatives of certain constituencies, and just like it's so inviting to each organization, as well as us as like coming representing our constituents. It would make sense in that way, since we already represent people as well. So like looking at it in that way, I agree that it's still considered open, even though there's a cap, because like every room has to have a like people limit. So.
Director Bowling?
Since Advisor Johnson's chair of GFAC, or the faculty lead?
I'm not involved with GFAC.
She just knows that.
I would advise them if GFAC could define an opening event. That way we know, I mean, not now, but for other situations.
So,
what an opening event is.
ABB Hooks.
So now I just have a question. So if it is open moving forward, how much money are you, is it $1,200 or is it half of that you're asking?
We're only asking for $800. The public policy committee would have to commit to the $400 as well. So, but I think that being the chair of public policy, that's something that we've all been working hard on. So.
Understand?
We got some 1,200 from finance.
So it'd be 400 from public policy and then 800 from the other Senate fields.
Okay, so is there any other questions? Someone want to entertain a motion? So, Senator Roth.
I was gonna move to allocate $800 from the Senate Project budget for this event.
And, okay. Is there a second?
And
No, that's not in public policy.
Oh, that's under public policy. Okay, Senator Fabio.
I second.
Motion on the floor is to move $800 from the Senate project budget, or Senate discretionary budget? Senate project budget to fund this event. Is there any discussion on this? Senator Singh?
So the 800 comes from the Senate project, right? Whose money do you send?
It's mine, because I already got a free water fountain.
I don't think you have to define what.
Senate's one budget. So is there any other discussion on this? Any objection? Hearing none, motion. Is there an objection?
Christine?
No. Hearing none, motion. Hey! Order in the court. Okay. Next we have an update, Senator project update from Senator Johnson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please give me a few minutes. I'm waiting for people to pull up a document. But in the meantime, I'm here to present an update on my Senator project, which was the Freshwater for Flint campaign. I believe this will be the final and conclusive update.
It's that one, it's like that.
Yeah, what is required? I put together an outline just so the Senate could see a breakdown of the campaign, the skeleton of it. I should say, but I have it on my phone, so bear with me until we can get it on the screen. Okay, I have it. The title of the campaign was the Freshwater for Flint initiative. It's slated as the objective of the initiative is a campus-wide initiative aimed at raising material donations in the form of bottled water in an effort to help the residents of Flint, Michigan in collaboration with the Get Out Network. I myself, Senator Johnson, is the project chair. I worked in collaboration with Senator Gregory Joyce, he's absent, Senator Karan Jane, and Senator Parker Keating. The start date for the campaign was January 22nd, 2016, and the end date was February 29th, 2016. We have a low date of March 11th, 2016. Here it is. Here's the document. Thank you, John. We have a low date of March 11th, 2016, and a delivery date to Mott Community College, which is located in Flint, Michigan. Logistics are being handled by Bright Eye Moving Company, which is a moving company which is located in Willowick, Ohio. I spoke with Bright Eye and confirmed the logistics. The overall price for shipping and handling is $300. They gave us a flat rate of $300, and that's to transport over 900, well, I'll say 1,000 cases of water, which we've collected throughout the initiative. This was our total budget. We had 4 senator project funds to work with, myself, Senator Joyce, Senator Keating, and Senator Jane. So a budget total of $1,000. Our total expenses for the campaign to date is $577.97. There was a $25 expense for the initial flyer, a $25 expense for the CSU Bottled Water Drive, which was an event that we held on February 17th in the Student Center atrium, excuse me. We also had an expense of $227.97 to Rascal House. They provided the food and catering for the event, and a flat $200 for Bright Eye Moving. And I just, for the moving, if you scroll back up for me, we go along. Tell me when. Right there is perfect. Okay, I mentioned that the low date is March 11th. That is a Friday. It's the last Friday before we go on spring recess. The 12th is the first Saturday of Cleveland State University's spring recess, and that's why that date was chosen, just in consideration of the volunteers that we have. In the men of Tau Kappa Epsilon have volunteered to help load the truck the day before on March 11th, and we're loading the day before to just make the transition to Flint a smooth one. We will be leaving Cleveland State University, I believe, at 9 a.m. on Saturday, March 12th. All volunteers are welcome to help load the trucks, and anyone who was interested in making the journey to Flint to distribute the water. Like I said, we will be distributing the water, at Mott Community College. I've spoken with a representative from the president's office at Mott Community College. There has been a great need at the local universities and colleges, the educational institutions, for water, and this is why we chose to collaborate with Mott Community College, and it provided a central distribution location instead of us going out into the city of Flint. Just as a matter of logistics, I thought it would be much more effective to have a central location and have Flint residents be able to come to us, and we can distribute those water off those 2 trucks. And I believe that was the conclusion of my report. I'll turn the rest of my time over to Speaker Hall in case the Senate has any questions or concerns.
Is there any questions for Senator Johnson?
Well, in closing, I would like to thank each and every one of you for your support, and too many to name. Throughout this month-long campaign, it's been a fun ride, but again, I thank you for it. We've done a great service for the community, and just using this initiative to engage our campus and our community, because I think that once we can tie those 2 entities together to build them into one entity, I think that we'll see a phenomenal response. So just to engage the campus and community, that was the whole point of this initiative. There was a need for this bottled water drive. We all came together and made it happen and made it successful. So on March 12th, we will put this one in the books, and thank you again.
All right. All right, last thing we have is a director and SARB update from Director Bowley.
Alrighty guys, so first on to SARB. We had one applicant last week. It is Miss Kelly Horton. She was ratified by SARB to be a at-large undergraduate. She has a lot of experience, very good at communications, and we think she'd be a good fit to the center. And so I'd like a motion for graduating. Already made a motion in committee. It's been a very, very long day. Any of that's it.
All right, so is there any discussion? Any objection? Hearing none, the motion passed.
Alright, so this last, our second to last, is a bittersweet moment for me. As you guys know, I graduated last semester, and I've worked at facilities for a very long time. And because of that, I was given a full-time position in facilities. And I actually started this week, which is why I'm very, very tired. So with that being said, I'm going to give you an update on the two projects that I am doing. I will be still involved in these two projects because they still involve facilities. And also I will be working with whoever is selected, which Paul will discuss after me with the project. You want to do it now?
So because of this full-time position, Director Bowling is not able to accept SLS scholarship, so he is going to have to step down from the position of Director of Policy and Procedure, and per the Constitution, it is my duty to replace and appoint a new one. So I will go ahead and give a little explanation. So we had the Director of Policy and Procedure, I had the interviews, I had the tests that were getting out to those who applied. We had 3 candidates. After speaking with Advisor Johnson and also with President Walasa, giving the update, what I will do is I am just going to take the next in line who was second after Randy to replace, and that was Senator Keating. So I would like a motion on the floor to ratify or to appoint, to appoint Senator Keating as a Director of Policy and Procedure. Senator Cardamone?
I move to, appoint Senator Keating as the Director of Policy and Procedure.
Senator Bebiote?
I second.
Motion on the floor is to appoint Senator Keating as a Director of Policy and Procedure. Oh, yeah. Okay. So there's no discussion? Any objection?
Okay. So, well, yes, now I can't do something that I needed to do because I'm not in the profession yet.
Aren't you supposed to actually a senator?
Can we still call you?
So then maybe someone else can do it for me. So for key instruction, we met with Jack Bauman, who's the architect who does work with AutoCAD and SCAD, which is a slimmed down version. Jillian Keller of Lift Up Bikes and Facilities Management, and then myself, which was Facilities Administration. We got the cost of everything. And so what I'm asking for, or what someone else will be asking for, is, see if this really does. I was going to use my $250, but I guess now I have to ask for $1,250. And that's going to cost primarily the cost of the can. Because we have, I tried to forward it to Secretary Gretsch, but that didn't work. I'll forward it when I get home. It's around 900 cans. It's basically kind of a cylinder-ish that will say like Go Bikes or CSU, we don't know what exactly yet. And then it will be a a helmet, and then the horns. It's 900 cans. And so like I told, we will buy the cans, and then the cans will be donated back to Lift Up Bikes. They have around 800 cans now. they've been getting a lot of donations, they've been getting a lot of press. So I think this will be a really good idea. So that was that. I will still be involved as a full-time staff person at facilities with the project. I've gotten approval from my supervisor as well as AVP Han to do this as part of my job. And so I will advise the students, and I will be the head. This is so weird. The outreach to the students for this event. Also the furniture. I have been waiting to fully put stuff in motion when we don't have a million water bottles in our office. So once that is done, I'm going to meet with Parker next week on what I want to do and when. I showed you guys the chairs. Those chairs are still reserved. I talked to property control. They're fine with me reserving it longer than the normal time because I asked nicely. So the carpet, I want to do a carpet cleaning, and that can be done because it's free once every year. So if you want to clean twice a year, you got to pay for it. But the first time it's free. Carpet's never been cleaned since I've been here. And so for getting rid of the inventory, this is where it becomes helpful for me. I can sign off on the property control form, because I'm full-time staff now, and I can take the service request form for the cleaning, because that's my job. I don't have any approval. I believe Bob has to do it because he's the approved user for Student Life, so he still has to do it, which is Parker's job, not mine anymore. And that still has to come from Bob. The property control, though, I can do, because I just really use the inventory. So that's about it, but I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. I've been here for a very long time. I looked at, because I looked at it in my resume, my first Senate meeting was in August of 2012. So this has been a lot for me. Just thank you for everyone. God, this sucks. I've already cried once in front of teens.
Wow.
Just thank you, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for what you guys have given to me. Senate means a lot. SBA means a lot. Thank you for 4 years. Thank you, anyone who's appointed me to any position, including Senate. Thank you. Shout out to people who are not here anymore. Thank you, Allie. Thank you, Dean Durnick, and thank you, Bob. When I first got here, these all people were here, and they helped me with all this. It means a lot because I've been here so long. 2 people in my wedding party in this sheet. Nice to meet you.
But when I first got into SGA, I honestly tell you, Randy was the senator that would wrangle every single new senator and say, I will connect you with this person, I will connect you with that person. And I hope that somebody will step up and do that. Because he literally connected everyone else on this campus. So I hope somebody will step up and do that.
Randy was the one that got me into SGA.
Ah, it's your fault.
You
Anybody else? All right.
My new extension is 2502.
I'm gonna call you first.
No, Ben Mo's doing work. I have pretty much the same email address, it's just not at Bikes anymore, it's just at CSU.
All right, on an even brighter note, please do your office hours. Please make sure you're recording them. I'm getting tired of those who are not doing that. I know you guys are in them, just please don't forget. Please, Christine set the example by doing the interaction hours for her survey. Please utilize those, very important. We want to make sure that we're getting out to as many students as we can. I know we have surveys, so let's please utilize that. Advisor Johnson?
Do you have to ratify some new policies?
We did.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Just kidding. You guys are on top of things.
Senator Keegan.
Nope, that's Director Keating now.
Oh! Here we go. I turned this meeting at 5:28.